Mr. Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity to add my voice to the debate on the floor. Mr. Speaker, there is everything good in honoring the heroes of a nation. So proposing a holiday to honor those who have served our country is right. However, Mr. Speaker, in this chamber, I believe what is probably dividing us in how we approach this decision to honor our heroes. I listened to the nostalgic and forceful submissions by my respected colleague Emmanuel Amakofibua of Elembele, and I agree with him with the very strong submissions he made about Nkrumah, and I want to adopt the same as though they were mine. However, Mr. Speaker, I have some points of disagreement as to how selective sometimes we appear to be in identifying who our heroes are. Mr. Speaker, the independence that we talk about wasn't just a day's event. It was a process that was initiated by some nationalists way before the 1900s. My own great-grandfather, Nana Gate, was part of the Fanti Confederacy, a nationalist. He was part of that movement for self-rule. So, Mr. Speaker, the argument that in honoring our heroes, let us look at it collective, cannot be misplaced. The argument is not to say that Nkrumah's contribution to history should be washed away. Never, never, and never. The argument on this side of the house is that there was a collective effort. What has become of the new boy Sikan, who actually was the brain behind the 1948, I will call it, the awareness, the uprising that led to the Big Six being arrested and being detained? What has become of him? Mr. Speaker, are we saying those who gave impetus to the whole movement are forgotten heroes? Mr. Speaker, if we continue to look at it from a partisan lens, we will continue to amend our laws on every electoral cycle depending on who wins. But let's pause for a moment. Look at us in this chamber, our various contributions in our various constituencies. And somebody one day comes and says that, oh, it is only one particular person who is to be picked out of the lot for recognition. Obviously, some people would express some dissenting opinions, views. So, Mr. Speaker, it's not all about those who are for or against Nkrumah. It's about a holistic approach, a nationalistic view of the matter. And I think that is where I mount my submissions.
So, Honorary Leader, are you talking about Nkrumah Boni or
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I've just been aided, and I thank the bench. Mr. Speaker, I thank the chair for that. I appreciate it. Mr. Speaker, such diplomacy will be healthy for our relationship. Mr. Speaker, people don't know we are a family. They say we're always fighting. Mr. Speaker, the name is Nkrumah Boni. That's the correct name. He was a chief, was he? Yes, Ofosu. Mr. Clark, I thank you for your industry History will remember you. Well, Mr. Camilo, your prince, your crown prince, is saying that he supported the research. Mr. Speaker, Ni Kwabna Bone, that brave chief from Osu, and of course the records has it that he was also a businessman. He played a major role. In our various constituencies, we know what we did. Mr. Speaker, not to single out our member of parliament for Asin North. We were in his constituency to campaign. Of course, not for him. Mr. Speaker, everywhere we went, every village, and I took note of that. It wasn't about him, but about what his father did many years ago. And people were mentioning his father's name. Mr. Speaker, such cannot be taken away from him, because that was the history his dad made by serving his people. In various communities in this country, we know the role that people have played. So, Mr. Speaker, on the score of recognition, I do not think that we should limit ourselves. We should acknowledge our founders as a collective. That is my view. Mr. Speaker, on the issue of celebrating our brothers who are of the Islamic faith, Mr. Speaker, as Honorable Nitiwu submitted, two main religions are being recognized by us as a nation. Although in Ghana we say we are largely Christians and Muslims, but I know that we are also deep-rooted in our tradition. And many Ghanaians still believe in the traditional religion, but that's for another day. Mr. Speaker, honoring them with a holiday will not be a thing that I will oppose. We have to honor. But Mr. Speaker, we would have to also pay attention to certain obligations imposed upon us by the Constitution. Mr. Speaker, if you read Article 24, it talks about economic rights. You talk about Article 25, educational rights. You talk about 27, Article 27, women's rights. You talk about Article 28, children's rights. Mr. Speaker, for the purpose of this submission, I would want to argue with all the force in me that whereas we are desirous of coming out with these holidays through such enactment to honor those with different faith, we must equally focus on how we can empower our people, even as we give them the opportunity to enjoy the benefits of their faith. Mr. Speaker, in the end, if our Muslim brothers and sisters are impoverished, how would they even enjoy the holiday we are giving them? I would encourage that beyond this, let us create economic empowerment tools for them in the various Zongo communities, in the various communities where the Muslim community is very much populated. Our women Muslims, we should go beyond this and support them because they are suffering. Our children from Muslim homes where poverty is denying them the opportunity to have the better part of life, we should channel resources to support these communities. We shouldn't treat it as belated priorities. It should be part of the very governance. Because, Mr. Speaker, if we don't do this, we may be deviating from our raison d'etre, because we have a mandate not only to provide the comforts, the holidays, but the mandate primarily also deals with giving an opportunity for the realization of economic right. Mr. Speaker, the poverty levels in the country are beyond imagination. The unemployment, it is a burden to all of us. We have a duty as a people. Even us, we have these holidays, we are recognizing Founders Day, we are adding on to holidays, we are amending. Whilst we see these as a priority, let us also be mindful of what the Constitution enjoins us to do. Equal opportunities for those who have graduated from our schools, the many youths who are looking forward to employment in both the public sector and the private sector. As a political class, we should also tell ourselves, what can we do to create an enabling environment in the private sector for businesses to thrive so that they can take on more and more of our people who are unemployed. For me, that is the burden of this call. That is the burden of my call. That is the burden of the call of this side of the house. So that in the end, whilst we enjoy our holidays, we will finish and go back to work. We will finish and know that we've also been economically empowered and not just been given a holiday. Mr. Speaker, without more, I would want to thank you for the opportunity, thank colleagues for their indulgence, and say that the minister may, in the end, pursue his bill, but should take all that we've said into consideration. Other ministers whose jurisdiction are related to some of the economic right issues we've raised must also take these sentiments of the House on board and, without delay, introduce the appropriate legislations that will lead to the realization of the dreams of our people. Mr. Speaker, I shall thank you and resume my seat.